Humanity has came a long way from the days when we were cavemen. Adaptations, beloved, beloved literature, often walks a fine line between reverence and renovation. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Dogman movie that has released in theaters. So this will be about the Dogman movie. There will be spoilers, and if you haven't watched it or you would like to see unspoiled, I recommend it either watching in the movie theaters or Prime Video. And if you've already seen it and you want to look at my review, then I recommend sitting down and enjoying the show. And to tell some history between me and the Dogman, Dogman is one of the first books I actually liked reading. That's a fun fact. So the first thing I want to talk about is the animation style. The animation is of course gorgeous because DreamWorks have been stepping it up and making animations look gorgeous and imaginative. Even though the Sonic movie 3 was a peak fiction, the Dogman movie was also peak literature, so like it balances out. And even though I loved the Sonic movie, the Dogman movie I liked a bit more because of the attachment I had to it. And also, I love how Dogman's design looks. When he moves his head, I'm glad he doesn't have a voice actor. That's the one thing I was hoping for. And yes, he is a dog. And plus, he barks in the movie, which is a plus. And and there's also one thing I like to talk about with these book movies is that normally in the Dave Pilkey thing, normally in the Dave Pilkey universe, they take one most popular books from the franchise, and for Dogman, it was A Tale of Two Little Kitties, which was an amazing book, and they adapted that into a movie. I wasn't expecting a Little Petey, but like whatever does the sales, and yes, Petey is amazing. I love his voice actor, Super Cop. Really, just everything about this movie just works. And plus, I really like Flippy. Flippy as a villain is very cool. I wasn't expecting Flippy. Plus, I wasn't expecting ADHD and Little Petey. I thought it was just gonna be a Dogman movie, but like it went over the top. I like the segment where Dogman and Little Petey are just like playing the piano and just walking around. That was really fun, and I enjoyed the Petey parts definitely with Little Petey because like it has so many back and forths that like it makes it seem like maybe little Petey and Pete are that different because they both got abandoned by their fathers and got reunited. And like the end of the movie was really good. And plus, Petey escaping jail segment was pretty funny. Big Jim was a part of it too. You might not know who Big Jim is. He's just a recurring character in the Dogman series who is Big Jim. I also like Chief. Chief is a very fun character. Really nothing else about all the characters. I did like that random black lady who was like very funny too. That sounded very weird, but like I'm just gonna keep going. Honestly, for this movie, if it was a little bit like paced, it pace wise, it's paced pretty well. I never felt bored, but I did feel bored when like the sad moments were happening. It was supposed to be sad, but in a Dogman movie, I just don't feel like we should be having sad moments. We should be having like tense moments, like I want the sad scenes to be sad. But like I feel like if we could get rid of the Dogman mourning over like his not like if we can cut the scene like in half, not make it that long, and like you can add to the segment where Dogman captures Petey, the movie would have been a little bit better, but still, I don't mind this movie. It was incredibly good. And the next thing I would like to talk about is release date, January 31st. Honestly, the first time we heard about it, it was in February. Then it was in January. And honestly, I wasn't expecting it to be in January. But honestly, it was a surprise. because we just got Sonic movie 3, which was already peak, but now like what do I have to wait for? We already experienced peak. I guess there is the Shrek movie. I mean, we're gonna have to wait for that. Yeah. Also, the Minecraft movie. The Minecraft movie is a stretch, but I'm still hoping that like people can take examples of what Dogman does best. Dogman has the right people, the right creator. It's done right. Most movies, even the Sonic movie, wouldn't have been this popular if there wasn't a director behind it that understood what people wanted. And Dogman is one of those movies who didn't have to who at first there was no bad reviews. It was just a very decent movie for the whole family. Really. Like once you look over it again, you're like, you have some nitpicks, but in the first watch, it's just like it's just a fun time. Really. The only nitpicks I have is the one I talked about earlier about like the pacing. But anyway, this movie is just great. I literally can't say any negative because of how much I love this movie. It's already an amazing time, and yeah, super super good. That theme song is cool too. It's not my cup of tea. It's still fun. And I like how the characters like look. In any animation, I like to call this the bad guy style because the bad guys create this animation style that's so gorgeous. And it works for Dogman. It's squash and stretch. It feels more like a cartoon. It doesn't feel so restricting because of how bouncy and fluffy he looks. He looks like an actual dog. And that still doesn't change how I love how Petey looks. I like how he talks. Petey just kind of carries the dialogue for this scenes. That's why the scene where Dogman mourning his owner, I wish it could be cut down. At least like the second where he gets the house, I just like really it's just kind of boring because Dogman does not talk. He is a dog, so like he barks. If that scene could have been reworked into a scene showing us like Petey like saying, "Oh my goodness, like this happened. The dog and cop got fused." I feel like it could have been a nice touch, but overall, no nitpicks. This is a great movie, and really, I would love to see a movie like this. DreamWorks, you did an amazing job, and thank you, Dave Pilkey, for making reading a lot more fun and creating one of the best movies I've ever watched. And you, you helped my childhood. This was probably the most deep video I've ever done. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the flip side.